So Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles, the matchup that took place at the Rumble. I had a chance to watch the match, and you know, it was a good match, but it was just not. I don't know what the fans, how they were feeling about the matchup, but just the crowd, just how it was. I mean, I couldn't tell if the fans were trying to react to everything that Daniel Bryan was doing, or if they were trying to react to what AJ Styles is doing. But to me, it just seemed like it seemed like nobody really cared about the match. It just, in my opinion, the match with AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan didn't seem big time to me. It didn't, because it just, don't get me wrong. I like this match. It looks good. It was great at what it was, but there was something missing, and everyone was just not into it. And the appearance of Rowan didn't do much justice either. It just kind of confused the fans even more. It confused me a whole lot because I wasn't sure what was going on. And the outcome, I mean, yeah, I mean, we all saw it coming. I mean, it was pretty much a give me right there, because the moment you see Rowan out there, you knew right away. Obviously, he was siding with Daniel Bryan. It's kind of like when you saw Mr. He came out, and at that time, when Stone Cold took on The Rock at WrestleMania 17 for the WWE Championship, Mr. McMahon was coming out, but you weren't sure who he was going for. But you can see bits and pieces of what Vince McMahon was doing, and he was clearly siding with Stone Cold at the time. Rowan, when he showed up, like I said, it was just a confusing time, and nobody understood what he was doing there. But it just became very, very obvious. It just became so obvious when he was siding with Daniel Bryan. Referee gets knocked out. Rowan takes advantage, and then Daniel Bryan goes ahead and wins. And it was one of those things where you're glad that the match was over, but it was also like, okay, now what's going to happen? I mean, where do we go from here? Because it seems like it was just a match that was just there, and nobody really cared about it. And it was true. And here's the thing. The things that I've been seeing, the reports that I've been looking at, is everyone is insinuating that there's going to be some sort of a Bray Wyatt or family reunion of some kind. Because if anybody remembers, Daniel Bryan was a part of the Wyatt family for that brief period of time, but it didn't last, and it didn't fit, in my view. And that was the whole situation. And now it seems like everyone is under the assumption that the Wyatt family is going to get back together and everything else like that. And I said, no, I don't think that's the case, and I don't think it'll do any justice for Daniel. But also, another thing that seems to be coming up is a feud between him and Bray Wyatt, which that would seem very, very good right there, because I think AJ Styles, him being out of the title picture, I mean, and I'll call it like I see it. It sucks, but I think at the same time, I think AJ Styles needs to get away from the title picture for a while and give someone else the platform. And I think a match between Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt, should it happen, could be excellent for WrestleMania. But you have to also keep in mind, Bray Wyatt is still on Raw. Unless they move him over to SmackDown, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of one of those situations where, I'm not going to go ahead and just say that the fans are going to want to see the Wyatt family get back together, because it's just not going to be the same. Because much like the Shield, when the Shield got back together, it was okay, but it was already starting to get to a point where it's just not good. It's just not there anymore. You know. So I think, even though the matchup with Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble for the WWE Championship was okay, it could have been a whole lot better. There should have been something that could have been, you know, that would benefit the fans, and the fans would enjoy it. But it wasn't getting a good reception. And like I said, Rowan being there, they didn't do any justice. So yeah, even though Daniel Bryan is still champion, it just wasn't a good match. I was feeling the match, but it wasn't that good. But like I said, if things go as planned, and Daniel Bryan is still the WWE champion, and he moves on to WrestleMania, and if things go well, and they put Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt, I'm not saying it's official, but if they put Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania WWE Championship, this would be a good boost for Bray Wyatt to be champion at WrestleMania. And plus, this is something that should have happened with Bray Wyatt a long time ago. I feel that this is the right move. Although I still feel about AJ versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, but that seems like now it's tossed out the window, and I don't think anybody really wants to see that match anymore. I think it's more of lines of keeping it's more the lines of keeping AJ Styles away from the title picture. And I think that, and to me, I think that should be done. I don't think they should eliminate AJ Styles in any way possible. I think AJ should just step aside and let someone else go after the championship. And maybe when the time is right, AJ can go after the championship one more time. But if something else happens, you never know. I mean, you never know what WWE is thinking these days, because one minute you're thinking AJ should be champion, the next minute you're thinking, no, he shouldn't be. So the Royal Rumble, the matchup that happened it wasn't all that. It was okay. It wasn't a decent turnout, but it was all right. But like I said before, Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt for the WWE Championship, for some sort of Wyatt family feud. I mean, that could happen. That could happen at WrestleMania, but we'll see how this goes. I mean, well, yeah, we'll see how this goes.